Salve studentes, this is Mr. Rigby. Let me tell you this morning the strange story of Cadmus. So Cadmus was a Greek prince, and he had a sister named Europa. Cadmus is spelled Cadmus, and Europa is like Europe with an A at the end instead of an E. And she had been abducted by Jupiter, who came to her in the form of a bull, and his sister was taken. So Cadmus's father said, "You've really got to go and find your sister." And Cadmus wanders the earth and all over Turkey and Greece and Europe and Asia, and he can't find her. So he says, "What will I do? I will ask the god Apollo." So he goes to the oracle at Delphi, which is an oracle of Apollo, and says, "What shall I do?" And the oracle says, "Follow a cow, a 1-year-old cow that has never been tied to a yoke or collar, and follow it until it lays down and found a city." So Cadmus follows the cow, called a heifer, a 1-year-old cow, and the cow lies down in the middle of what we know as Greece, and Cadmus found his city there. And he said, "What will I do?" So he sends his men to get water. He's got his troop of men with him, of course, and he sends them to get water. And with the water, there's a gigantic snake, a serpent, a dragon, and it kills all his men. Now, Cadmus is not happy about this. Do you see the story getting stranger and stranger? And he goes and kills the serpent, the snake, the dragon, whatever you want to call it. And this dragon turns out to be sacred to the god Ares, whom the Romans know as Mars. So Mars comes down and he punishes Cadmus by making him serve him for 8 years, maybe along with his wife Harmonia. And then he takes the teeth of the dragon, he sows them on the ground. More strangeness, these warriors, these fighters, grow up from the dragon's teeth, and they fight one another, and they start killing one another. There, Cadmus goes, "What's good with an army that kills itself?" But finally Athena comes down, yet another goddess, and says to Actaeon, one of the warriors, "Make peace with your brothers." So there are 5 left, and they make peace with one another. And Cadmus, kind of co-ops them and makes them his men, and he founds the city of Thebes, in Boeotia, Thebes. And the 5 remaining warriors become the 5 leading families of Thebes. So what happens to Cadmus and Harmonia in the end? The gods say, how no matter how fun your life is, everyone dies in the end. Cadmus is not having a fun life. He doesn't have good luck. But he and his wife Harmonia, again as punishment from Mars or Ares, are turned into snakes themselves. And then they have peace and happiness, and they live in the woods as snakes. And finally, Jupiter or Zeus takes them off to the Isle of the Blessed. So the question is, what is Ovid telling these stories for? Is he telling them for entertainment? Is he telling them to tell a moral? Is he telling them to show the power of the gods or the weakness of humans or fate or whatever? So that's one question. What is Ovid, the Roman author, telling these stories for? And then the other question is, what is Mr. Rigby telling these stories for? Those are your questions. So think about it. Give your opinion on it. Talk to you soon. Thank you.